Just checking the microphone. Yeah. Before I start, I'm gonna pull an oracle card. I'm terrible at shuffling. Shuffling it on camera so you know that I'm doing it. It is oak tree. Power, courage and strength. Let me look it up in the book.
The oak tree is a popular symbol for strength. The wood is dense and durable, reliable and long-lasting. This tree symbolises power and bravery, telling you that you can stand up to whatever storm is on the horizon. The mighty oak begins as a tiny acorn. It is reassuring to know that something so immense and strong started out as something that you can hold between two fingers. Not only does it remind us that small things can yield huge results, it also reminds us that growing takes time. Rapid growth uses energy to reach a goal quickly. Slow growth uses energy to ensure stable, strong development. The oak tree card urges you to be brave and stand tall.
And the reflection is there something you've been avoiding because of fear of confrontation? We're not going to address that right now in a video. Where do we start? So I have been living alone for just over a year, and that is coming to an end because I am moving back in with my parents to have yet another life reset. As excited as I am to move on to this next chapter, in so many ways I'm moving on to a life that I have dreamed about living for a long time, and I'm finally getting to do it. It isn't without its sadness, and leaving this flat is a big part of that. Whilst I have been packing, I have cried a lot. I cried walking to the gym this evening because I realised it was the last late night walk I am ever going to take in the town that I live in. And I've loved my late night walks. Where I live feels so safe. That is such a big part of what has allowed me to flourish this year in the ways that I have. As this is the last night that I'm spending in my first apartment that I ever lived in by myself, it felt apt to talk about the things that I learned, the lessons that I am taking away from this experience, and I don't know, just talk about it a bit. Because the person that I moved into this flat as is so different to the person who's moving out of it, physically and emotionally and psychologically. So at 22, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I have learned by living alone this year. The first thing, and the most important thing, is that I love living alone. It was hard to begin with, going from having somebody always pottering around, even if you were doing two separate things, to the silence of being entirely in your own company was the hardest thing to adjust to, and that's the biggest thing I would say if you're moving into a house by yourself for the first time. It takes some getting used to. What it also made me realise, as much as I do love living by myself, is that I am an extrovert and I need to be around people and I need to socialise, which is something that if you had told me a year ago, I would have laughed at you. One of the concerns that I have going from living by myself to moving in with other people again is like the opposite. I'm going from a place where I currently have to be conscious of making sure that I socialise with people to making sure that I have time for myself. Because as much as I love being around people, I think the biggest thing that I've loved living here is that if I want to just lock myself away and not talk to anybody for 2 days, then I can. Whereas I can't do that when I'm living with 3 other people and a dog. And as I said, the differences from when I first was living by myself to how I live by myself now are really interesting. Like when I was packing things up, I found all my candlesticks, and I remember that when I was first living by myself, I would make sure that I would put out candles when I had dinner at least like once a week, once every few weeks, to have like a special dinner by myself, to make myself feel loved and cared for. And I don't feel the need to do that now. Not in the sense that I don't practice self-care. I do practice self-care. I love a solo date. I love going out just by myself for the day, going to get a coffee, wandering around an art gallery or something. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I think that's something that's essential, because one thing that I do think is that even if you are single, and my belief is that when you're in a long-term relationship, you need to still date, because even though you're spending so much time together, there's a difference between monotonous time and special time. that sounds wrong. There's a difference between like everyday time and quality time. Making sure that you are spending quality time together is really important, and I think that that's also essential in the relationship that you have with yourself. You spend every moment of every day, waking and sleeping, with yourself. So making sure that you have that quality time to decompartmentalize, de-stress is something that I think I'm going to carry forward. I think at a certain point this year, I stopped trying to perform aloneness in the correct way and started just being alone, not feeling like I had to do it in a way that is like aesthetically pleasing or Instagrammable. I just enjoyed my own company. I feel more peaceful, which sounds stupid because like, of course I feel more peaceful. My life was chaotic as hell when I moved into this flat. I was saying to my friend the other day, I feel more rooted and I feel more connected to myself and the earth, she says, having done a Green Witch Oracle card at the beginning of this video. And so much of that also comes from the body modification stuff that I've done this year. I got 3 tattoos, I dyed my hair, and I got another piercing. This is the last thing. I'll put pictures because you're not going to be able to see it, but I got a conch piercing. All the things that I wanted to do to myself are done. And I remember saying in the video that I first posted on this channel about doing things and it feeling right, like they were always supposed to be there, and I definitely felt that about my conch piercing. The tattoos were different because I'd never gotten a tattoo before, but I feel like they represent me so well. I feel like me so completely now. I'm not gonna cry. I just wanted to hop in to add to this point because on my recent trip to Cornwall, I had a conversation with my friend's cousin, who I've met many times throughout her life. As we were leaving, I said, "Oh, it was nice to see you again," and she said, "Oh, it was nice to meet you." And I was like, she's probably really tired, and she was so tired she just forgot that we had ever met before. But also apparently she said to my friend that I had leaned so hard into being a lesbian that she just didn't correlate who I was the last time with who I was now. And I don't think I've ever heard anything more validating than the fact that I was so gay that somebody didn't recognize me anymore. I think that just epitomizes how much I have changed in the past couple of years. One thing that I think helped kind of force me into the situation where I've had to sit with myself in this way and ponder the things I've pondered is because where I lived was quite cut off. There isn't a train station where I live. There are barely any buses. So it meant that if I wanted to do something or go somewhere or see somebody, I really had to plan it in. And I think that's going to be something that's interesting again because I am moving to somewhere that is so well connected, which like, big up the B network. I'm so glad that the first year of me living alone was done in somewhere that forced that upon me, because I don't think I would have done it otherwise. I think I would have distracted myself and neglected like the self-reflections that I've been able to have for the benefit of just getting through the year. And I don't think that I would be in the place that I am now if I'd lived somewhere more connected. The next thing that I put down is that tarot will not fix all your problems. The reason why I started using tarot readings was because I really struggled to listen to my own gut and be able to decipher what is anxiety and what is my instincts. And because tarot is so much about how you interpret the reading and you interpret how the cards connect to each other, I thought it was a good way of like helping me to learn to do that. Up until sort of very recently, I think I've always reached for them in moments of anxiety and in moments of panic and wanting an answer to something and wanting something to tell me what to do because I don't trust myself. Whereas now I kind of go to them more for guidance of like what my options are. I feel very confident in the fact that I can make my own decisions and that I can hold my own opinion. One of the things that I loved the most this year was being able to actually like consider things and form my own opinions about stuff, which sounds crazy. I spent so long being so concerned about how other people would see me, how other people interpreted things, and I always assumed that other people were smarter than me and other people were better than me, so I would listen to other people because they must be right. Also, I think that sometimes I'm a sucker for like, if somebody says something confidently, I'm like, well, why would they say it so confidently if it wasn't right? Packing up this flat has genuinely been so hard because I have loved living here so much, and it was difficult to wrap my head around the fact that I'm not going to be living here anymore. But it's also been kind of beautiful to look back on when I moved in as I'm moving out and remember how it felt to be here with just my bed, 2 camp chairs and a kettle, effectively. As I was getting ready for this video, I put my mirror up on the windowsill because it's the only sort of high thing that I have to use to see my face whilst I do my makeup. And I remembered that for the first few weeks that I was living here, that's what I did because I didn't have anything to stand it on. Over time, I built up the flat to have such personality, and it felt so homely to live here. Like, that came from me. I did that, and I can do it again in a new place. Because of the situation that I was in when I moved in here, this felt like a fortress and I felt so safe. This door I called Sandra because she likes to make noise when she closes sometimes. She likes everybody to know that she's here, and I'm really going to miss her. I keep saying that if I could take this flat and move it to a more connected location, I would, because this space now and forever will be this space is always going to be the first place that I lived by myself. And I just wish that I could take it with me, because I wish that I could show it to people and be like, this is where my home was. This is my little space. No one else lived here with me. I never brought a date back here. And in some ways I'm so glad that that's the case, because there are no memories of other people in this space. There are memories of just me and the friends that I care about. There's no messy breakups. There's no happy memories that have turned sour. There's just good memories of me being here. And I'm seeing that as a positive because it's untainted and it's something that I can hold on to for a really long time. So that was part 1 of this video. The next part, just go with me. Just go with me on this. I've seen the TikTok trend of getting a cake and putting flags in it for what you achieve. And I genuinely cried whilst watching one of those yesterday, because I was like, I'm really sad to be moving, but also I know how much I've achieved this year, and I'm trying to focus on that rather than focus on the fact that I'm not living in my flat anymore. So I bought some donuts and I bought some candles, and I'm gonna stick candles in the donut for everything that I've achieved this year. And then I'm gonna blow out the candles like a birthday cake, and you're gonna watch me do that. Sound fun? Good, because you can't answer me and we're doing it anyway. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I have these donuts. I'm just gonna use one, and I'm just gonna pop it on top of the box because I don't have anything else to put it on. There we go. You're gonna stay in there? Yeah. This one is for living alone for a year. This one is for coming out. This one is for getting my first professional costume credit in theatre. This one is for seeing 1 theatre show for every month of the year. This one is for taking my first solo trip to a country that I've never been to before. This one is for deciding not to date and focus on friendships. This one is for keeping plants alive for a whole year. This one is for working on my relationship with alcohol, so I no longer reach for it in times of trauma. This one is for successfully competing in multiple pub quizzes with my group of friends. This one is for buying myself flowers. This one is for creating a physical appearance that represents who I am. And this one is for quitting my job to pursue a freelance creative career. This is going to kill me when I light them all. Okay. Make a wish. Have I got wax on my fingers? I think I have. I think I've just got wax on my head. Thank you for staying with me through that silliness. If you're still here, I appreciate it. So, that's where we are. I think that's everything for this video. I know there are other topics I want to focus on, but I think they deserve their own segment. But I really appreciate anyone who's watched this video. I really appreciate all the people who've stuck with me. Thank you to all my friends and family. I'm not accepting an award. Calm the fuck down. Onwards and upwards, I guess. Bye.